If you're trying to become a web developer, you've probably seen 100 roadmaps online. But here's the problem. Most of those roadmaps are bloated, outdated, or just plain wrong. The truth is, the fastest way to break into web dev in 2025 looks nothing like what you've been told. And if I had known this when I started, it would have saved me months of wasted effort. In this video, I'm sharing the full web dev roadmap I wish someone had handed me on day one. Clear, modern, and built for how hiring works today. I'll also be sharing some important tips and tricks at the end, so stay tuned for that. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Web development can be divided into 4 parts. Let's start with the front end. The front end refers to the part of the site you can see and interact with. A traditional web page consists of HTML for the structure, CSS for the styling, and JavaScript for the functionality. You can learn basic HTML tags, forms, and layouts easily in a week or 2. Remember, you only need to learn about 20% of HTML to get 80% of the results. CSS is like makeup for your web page. It makes it look nice and fresh. Start by learning some basic styling principles and building front-end projects using only HTML and CSS. Writing CSS can be painful and slow. To make CSS better and less frustrating, you'll need a CSS framework. I recommend using Tailwind CSS, as it is the industry's go-to for web development. Also, learn how to make your websites responsive, so they look good on mobile and tablet devices too. This will take about 2 to 3 weeks. JavaScript brings your pages to life with interactivity, buttons, sliders, and animations. Start with syntax and core concepts: variables, functions, arrays, loops, and objects. Try some projects while learning, like building a simple to-do list app or a basic game. This will take you a solid 1 to 2 months. After learning all the basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you'll need a web framework to effectively build great apps. There are many JavaScript frameworks, but I recommend going with React. It's the most supported and beginner-friendly. Learning React will take about a month or 2. Time for the fun part of web development, the back end. When people start learning web development, the thing that scares them most is the back end. And honestly, it's not that scary once you understand it. The back end is the behind-the-scenes part of a web page. It makes your web page functional and useful. For the back end, you need to learn a back-end programming language. Some options are Python, Java, Ruby, and JavaScript. I recommend sticking with JavaScript as it will be much easier and you won't have to learn a brand new language. You'll also need a backend framework. For JavaScript, that's Express. You'll spend at least 2 to 3 months learning the backend. Once you have both front end and back end, you'll need them to talk to each other. That's where APIs come in. APIs let your front end send and receive data from your back end. Later, you might also want to add authentication, like login and sign up, using tools like Firebase Auth or Passport.js. When your apps get large, you'll also need a place to store the data. There are 2 types of databases: relational and non-relational. Relational databases store data using tables, which consist of rows and columns. Some relational databases are MySQL, Oracle, and Postgre, but they're essentially the same thing. A non-relational database, also known as NoSQL, uses flexible data models like key-value pairs, documents, graphs, or wide column stores. Some examples are MongoDB and Cassandra. I recommend going with MongoDB as it is the easiest to learn and gets the job done. Later, you can explore more options if you want. Learning a database will take you at least 2 to 3 weeks. Once your app works, it needs to go live and be version controlled. Git lets you track changes, roll back errors, and collaborate.